Tatiana. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fantastic. I'm fantastic. A little tired. A little tired. Just got back from
Yeah.
vacation.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
and I think, everyone says like I need a vacation for my vacation. I think that should only count if you're a parent. Like, no
No,
offense
I
to
could
anybody else out
imagine.
there. Going on vacation with children is just it's just taking care of your children in a different house, different location.
Yeah, no, that's definitely sounds stressful.
Yeah, it's not stressful. It's just like I stay up later. I stayed up later than I usually do and got up
Yeah.
earlier, or as same time as usual. But yeah, whatever. I'll go cry in the corner by myself. But how are you doing? I haven't talked to you in so long. I think I saw you at Montage for their kind of like mountain jam or whatever it was back in March.
Yeah.
You and
Mountain
Marty.
Fest. Yeah, yeah.
Mountain Fest,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. But exciting news.
Yeah.
You just dropped
Very
a new
exciting.
song yesterday. Today's
Mm-hmm.
Monday,
Mm-hmm.
July 31st. So we're recording this a day after the song released, and this will probably be released on Friday. So when this airs, the song will be almost a week old, but dropped the
Mm-hmm.
song on a Sunday, which is odd. I'm
Yeah.
sure there's a reason for that, and we'll get to that too.
Uh-huh.
And I think you had a birthday yesterday too. Is that true?
I did. Yeah. Yesterday was
Well,
my birthday.
happy belated birthday.
Thank you.
So the song is called No Coincidence, Happy Birthday.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the first new music that we've got from you in what, 5 years?
I think like 5 or 6. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
2018, I think you had an album come out, Unspoken.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Where have you been? Where have you been?
Oh my gosh. I think I definitely took like a hiatus and I think there's a lot of reasons for it, but I don't know. I don't know. I think maybe I was like refinding myself like in a second like adulthood situation. Um and I think honestly what solidified I mean I like this whole song was like in the works or like in talks I should say for like maybe a couple of months, but I think the thing that like solidified me being like okay, this actually needs to get done and I do want to do this again and put it out was like the fire that me and Marty were in. And I think after that, like, I think after experiencing that, I started to realize like the important things in my life and the things that make me happy, I guess, truly.
It's it's funny how that. I mean, it's not funny. Obviously, you could talk about that because I did see something on Facebook or
Yeah.
social media about you guys being in a fire.
Yeah.
But it's amazing how like it takes a thing like that to kind of really wake you up and make you realize like, hey, like this life is short. I mean, we don't
Yeah.
we don't know when this is
Hmm.
gonna. I mean, I'm facing that when I turn 40. I turned 40 last November,
Yeah.
and I'm constantly thinking like my life's halfway over, and I want to live forever because I have children and a wife, and like I love them so much. I never want to be without them, and yeah,
Yeah.
so these moments happen, and talk what happened exactly.
So in a short sense, like lightning struck the house, which is like the most like freak thing ever. It was
Yeah,
actually,
jeez.
yeah, it was June 2nd. So it was like the day that Montage, like they were doing the county fair. So I was covering that for work and I wasn't supposed to be home all day. And I was having like technical difficulties like with my camera and everything while I was there. So like I was gonna wait in my car and like, just kind of like try to fix it. But then I saw that it was gonna storm and I got like the warning and everything on my phone. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna go home. And I was home for maybe like 15 minutes. And then the lightning struck and I didn't think it was I didn't think it was my house. Like you don't
Sure.
think that. I thought it was like a pole outside. But no, it was the house. And yeah, the whole thing was really like surreal. Marty's dad had called him, so then Marty called me to tell me that there was a house on fire on our street. So when it got called in, it wasn't called in as our address. So I'm like, I'm on the phone with them, and I'm like, I don't see what house it is. Like, I don't know. Um, and like as I'm checking the windows, like I'm noticing that like a little bit of smoke is coming in the house, but he was like, well, there's a fire on the street and the AC's on, don't freak out. he was like, but if it makes you feel better, like, go get the dogs and just stand outside until I get home. Because I think he was actually recording with Portland Frank that day.
Hmm.
So he wasn't home. And by the time I went back to get the dogs, bring them back out into the kitchen, it was just completely black. And that's when I realized, like,
Holy shit.
it's our
This is
house.
the
Yeah,
house.
like, holy
Wow.
shit, this is our house.
Wow.
Yeah. So I mean, it definitely wasn't as bad as it could have been. Like,
Sure.
I was struggling with one of our dogs to get them out, but like, everyone got out okay. And that's all I could really ask for. That's all that anyone could ask for, is that, like, the dogs got out and everyone's okay. But it was definitely like a scary moment that,
Of course.
it's times like that that make you realize, like, what's important
Yeah,
in
what
your
could have
life.
happened, right? Like,
Yeah.
so no lives lost. That's good.
No. Mm-mm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, is the house like I mean, was it salvageable or did it?
So it is, but it's basically, like, at this point, it's like ripped down to the foundations,
Got it.
because of all the water damage. The
Right.
lightning struck the attic, so all the water just, it flooded the
Comes
whole
down. Yeah.
house. Yeah.
Man, that's
Yeah.
wild. That's wild.
Yeah. Yeah. No, craziness.
So you're just like 2 months removed from that at this point.
hmm
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, had you considered getting back into music prior to that, or was that kind of the catalyst that kind of said, like, listen, I need to find myself. I need to like make the most out of this life. I need to, just kind of get back to who I am and what I'm here for.
Yeah. I would say that was definitely, like, the tipping point, but like, for months I was kind of like tiptoeing around the idea. Like, I would tell Marty, like, we should do more duos, but then, like, never actually do it, and like stuff like that. But I think this event was like the push that I needed to, like, actually do something.
Why do you think, it's been so long? It's been, like you said, 5 years. And that
hmm
album you released, Unspoken, which is available on the streaming services.
hmm
There's a song called Jamie, which was phenomenal. I remember
Thank
playing it
you.
on, yeah, I remember playing it on the radio when I had a radio show back in the day.
hmm
When I heard that, I mean, that to me was that belonged in like when I was growing up, like those teen movies, like
Yeah.
American Pie or She's All That or whatever, those kind of things. Like
Yeah.
that belonged in one of those type of movies.
hmm
Um, and obviously, like I don't know how old you are now, but I mean, I've known of you. I know your family
hmm
for like 13 years now. So I essentially like watched you grow up.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it's like I knew you as a little kid, and like you released this album. It was
Yeah.
phenomenal. Every song was really
Yeah.
great in their own
Thank
way,
you.
and then you just
hmm
disappeared. Like what happened?
Yeah. Um, I think that, okay, so I don't know, like, how deep do you want to go into this?
Let's go
Okay.
all the way.
All right. Well, I feel like most people, like, who know me relatively well, like, they know that, like, from the beginning of my time, I feel like I was the theater kid, I was the dance kid, I was the piano kid, and like I did all of the things. And I always say to people, like, there's a reason why the kids that were on Dance Moms don't dance anymore,
Right.
because it becomes like you get this weird, like, relationship with it where, like, I don't know, at some point it turns into like work and
Right.
not fun. Like, and it wasn't even necessarily like I didn't have like a major, like, I wasn't like super like popular or anything like that, but it was like embedded into me my whole life. And I felt like I didn't have anything else to, like, give to the world or something, and that I couldn't do anything else but that. So I think that gave me like a chip on my shoulder almost about performing, and creating music. I think it was a mixture of that, and I had a really hard time, I feel like, when I was like 18 or 19 and like was performing out more. And again, like, this was like pre-COVID, so like it wasn't like now where like almost every bar like closes at like midnight, like it was like they were till 2 a.m., so
Right.
like, and you'd get like I don't even want to say that like every experience I had, like there was someone creepy, but I think because I did everything so young and I was like freshly 18, I couldn't handle the fact that there would be people that I don't know that just know me online, like coming to the gigs and being like, I love your music, and like that, it scared me almost. Like it made me feel uncomfortable, and it shouldn't have, but I was a
Oh,
kid essentially.
but yeah, that's fair. I think that's a very
Yeah,
fair emotion that you can have to that, and especially that young, right? And you're 18 years
yeah,
old.
yeah,
Um, you're female. You're,
yeah,
you're pretty too. That doesn't, it doesn't help all the things. Like you're very talented, very pretty. There could be creepy people online,
yeah,
that would come to shows just because they see, your imagery online, right? So yeah,
yeah.
I mean, totally. I mean, I think that's fair in all aspects.
Mm, yeah. I mean, so that was also a part of it too, but I think it was mainly just the fact that I somehow adapt, like I had a strained relationship with like music, and I all of a sudden like woke up one day and wanted no part of it, and I did like other like and I tried to like fulfill myself with like other hobbies and stuff, but it just like wasn't working. Like I ended up proving to myself like no, like you're like more than that, but like at the core, like this is what truly makes me happy. It's just the relationship was a little weird with it.
What kinds of things did you do in its place?
Well, one of the things was definitely I took like a very like deep dive into like new age like spiritualism, and I ended up getting like my Reiki certification because I wanted to help people. Like, I wanted to, be a Reiki practitioner, and I guess you could say I still am like kind of doing that, not really, but I was doing it for a while, like actively like working out of a shared space, and it made me feel fulfilled. I liked helping people, but it wasn't the same. It didn't feel the same way. Like I felt like my priorities weren't in order, I guess.
I did see that on
Yeah.
social media, and that wasn't that long ago.
No, it wasn't. It was only maybe for like 6 months of like heavily doing it, like actually working in the field, I
Mhm.
guess. But it took like 2 years to get like completely certified. So yeah,
Do you think that was just something you needed to do to prove to yourself that you could do something else?
I think it was maybe a mixture of both because of both like needing to prove something to myself and to also, I mean, I feel like I always like felt like I wanted to like help people. I think it's like a part of my personality trait or something, but like I don't know if it was to prove something to myself or to have something that felt like my own,
Okay.
because I feel like growing up as a kid in like performing and music, it never felt like it was my own, and maybe that's what I needed to prove to myself.
Right. Now, did your parents I don't use the word pressure, but like they probably saw that you were very talented and kind of pushed you in that direction because,
Yeah.
why waste it, right?
Yeah.
Real quickly,
Hmm.
Tatiana's dad owned a popular bar in what town was that? Oliphant,
Elephant. Hmm.
called Thirsty's Bar and Grill. Um, so people who listen to this, people who know me, probably know your dad. They probably know you
Yeah.
as well.
Yep.
What does that just kind of like am I accurate with saying that they just kind of knew you were talented and they kind of pushed you in
Yeah,
that
I would
direction?
say so. And I wouldn't like, I don't think that I would like come on anywhere and be like, oh, like, my parents ruined it for me. Because I like
Right.
they
No,
didn't. I feel like as a parent, like if you see your child like excel in something, you want what's best for them and you want to
100%.
like push them. But like we're all human and we like, we all make mistakes and we all like push too hard sometimes and we all like, I think that they were definitely just trying to do their best, but
Of
I
course.
definitely do feel like yeah, it became like I didn't feel like I had a choice. And like I think that feeling affected me like going like becoming an adult.
Right.
Because then I was like, oh well, I'm given the choice. So if I'm given the choice, I'm not doing it anymore. Like, so yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely I mean, obviously we're not talking shit on parents because like
No.
of course we all want to, I mean, I don't even know how I'm going to handle and my son's 5, my daughter's 1, and I always think about their future, and obviously I want them
Yeah.
to be smart, educated, but I also like I see my son now and he's in sports and he's like he's 5 years old, so it's like you
Mm,
can't even really he doesn't even know what stuff is yet, I guess. But I
yeah.
mean like he's naturally like good at listening and following the instruction and doing well. So it's like yeah, you don't want to you know be overbearing with it, but obviously like you said, you want to kind of if you see that talent, you kind of want to harness that and push them in
Hmm.
that direction because not everyone is can sing or perform music or dance or
Hmm.
play baseball or whatever it might be. And when you have that
Yeah.
opportunity, it's like, hey, like take it.
Yeah. Hmm. I mean, and same, like I don't know what I would do if I had a kid and like they were like a savant at playing piano. Like
Right.
what do I do? Like no, you don't have to if you don't want to. Like
Right.
that's like hard.
No,
Like
you're over
if
their
you see
shoulder and you're like,
potential.
play the
Yeah.
piano.
Yeah. 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 So yeah, it was like a slippery slope about all of that, but yeah,
Life's
that's
hard.
basically it. Life is hard.
Yeah, it
The
really
human
is.
experience is hard.
And that's but it's so cool about life too, because it's like it's just
Yeah.
there's all these factors like go into everything, and it's like and you never know until it's like too late, or you never know until like
Hmm.
it's the right time. It's just it's so like, and if we live in it that in a way that we're like kicking ourselves in the ass because we did something and we're doing it for good reason, and then we
Hmm.
kick ourselves in the ass for whatever came of it. It's like that's not fair to yourself either. It's just I don't know. It's funny.
Yeah.
And then you throw a
Yeah.
pandemic on top of it, and people get nuts.
Yeah.
You
No, for
know,
sure. That also I think affected because honestly, like it was during the pandemic where I completely just I was like, no, I'm done. I'm not even doing a duo gig. I'm done. So that probably affected something too. I don't know.
now is that why you date a musician because like that was like your connection?
Like I'm gonna live vicariously through you.
Tatiana,
No.
she dates Marty Monahan. He's in a popular band called the Boastfuls, and also a new project called Portland Frank, which she mentioned earlier.
Hmm.
Uh,
Yeah.
Great guy. Just an
Yeah, he
awesome
is.
all around dude. I'm sure you like him more than just his good looks and his ability to play guitar.
No, I do. I do. No, he's great. He's great. And he's been like I feel like when I completely like dropped off, like, I could tell that like he didn't like completely like agree with it, but he definitely like gave me the space about it that I needed. And then I think like, after months of me like going back and forth, I think it was like really after the fire, like, when I knew I was gonna put it out, I would even have like moments of like, I'm not gonna do it. Like I'm not gonna do it. And he's like, no, you're fucking doing it. Like you're doing it. I'm not giving you a choice. Like we're doing it. So yeah, he's been great about just everything that's happened recently. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, well, I'm glad he pushed you too because the song is amazing. Let's
Thank
talk
you.
about it. It's
Yeah.
called No Coincidence. Happy birthday, like I said before, and I'm assuming the song title relates to your birthday that you just had. That's
Yes.
why you released it on your birthday. All makes
Yeah.
sense, right?
Yeah.
It
It's
was
all
planned.
connected. Yeah, it was planned.
What's the song about? I mean, I don't want to. I think I know, who the message is to, but talk a little bit about the song,
Mm.
and what it might mean to you.
Yeah. So I feel like the few other people that have asked, I like there's not just like one meaning, I guess. So I feel like it's like split up into like two. So I guess like the more obvious one is just like I don't even know that it's like directed at anyone specifically, but I feel like just as people like in life, whether it's in a romantic relationship or a friendship or a family member, like we all have dealt with people who like make you feel the way that you do. Like the way that I talk, like what I talk about in the song, like, like manipulative, narcissistic people, like they're out there and they kind of like prey upon empathetic, caring people. Um, so I guess that's one side of it. And the other side, I guess, what I had in mind, like while I was writing it, is like the effects of being around like people like that, like kind of how even though like they like show all of like these characteristics and like that the kind of person that they are, just from being under their thumb you kind of start to think that it's you, that like you're the problem, that you're the one that isn't a great person, and you start to have like this identity crisis of not even knowing like who you really are and creating a different version for everyone in your life. So those are the two, I guess,
That's
meanings behind
interesting.
the song. Yeah.
That's interesting. And the cover art for that single,
Hmm. Yeah.
are those were they pictures of you on different birthdays?
So no, it was a shoot that I did in my mom's basement, which is what I'm in right now because we were limited on location. I basically just like set up a tripod and like photoshopped everything together.
Okay.
So yeah, but
Each one looked kind of different.
yeah, they were all supposed to, I guess, be different like versions of myself, I guess.
And I have to admit, and maybe I'm not good at reading into music. And I think that's what's so cool about music too, because when people hear it, they can kind of, hear it for what they want to hear it for.
Hmm.
I thought maybe that it was a message to yourself, like
Yeah.
just these different, like, these past 5 years, maybe, it's like, you weren't sure who you are and what you wanted to do. And so maybe you just kind of like, beat yourself up and like you were talking about, that to yourself.
Yeah. It honestly, like, it kind of fits in both
Yeah.
because I do that too, like, and like I would be lying if I said that like I'm not a self-deprecating person and I don't like think about those things like when I write. But yeah, I feel like it's more so about how like I guess people feel after being in like types of relationships like that. Um, but it could be for any reason. Like anyone could interpret it any way they want.
Yeah. And yeah, so I thought those were different images of you. Obviously, they are obviously, but
Hmm.
they were like different points of time. So you look
Yeah,
different in each one, which is like even like age wise. I don't know how you did that.
yeah. Well, some Photoshop,
Okay, all right,
but yeah, no, it was definitely like purposeful and like little me in
that's cool.
there.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Mm,
So when you shared the song yesterday, I saw that you kind of thanked Marty, Paul
hmm.
Young,
Yeah.
and Brett Alexander. What parts did they play in this song recording?
So Marty, when I had this song, I originally just had, I think, verses, and that was it. I didn't have any, like, I didn't do any piano, nothing. I had like a melody in my brain, but that was it. So I kind of went to Marty for help, which is like the first time I ever did that. We've never like worked together on like anything like other than covers. Um, so he was trying to like work something out with me, and he was like, in the beginning, like our both of our music styles are kind of different. I guess like how we write is different. So he was like, let me call Paul. And I'm like, oh, like I get weird about people like hearing my stuff before it's done. And I was like, I'm scared, like he's gonna judge me. He's like, no, like he's gonna help, like it'll help. And it did. Like I sent him like what I had, and he sent back he sent back an idea for the chorus, and I didn't end up like using that exactly, but like that kind of helped me to do something like different with the chorus. So it was similar but different. and too, like he like came over to like help like workshop some things and like move things around. And then of course like Brett, uh he he uh he produced like Unspoken. So I went to him at Saturation Acres, and he had some like ideas too that were really helpful. Um, but then because the time was really pressing, because I was supposed to be doing this like starting the beginning of June and all of that happened, um, Marty kind of like took it upon himself to be like, okay, like I don't, maybe we shouldn't record like everything in studio. I could do some stuff here, like let me see what I could do. He basically like he arranged the whole song pretty much.
It
So
was amazing.
like in 2 hours, like he was like, just leave me alone for 2 hours and I'll and I'll do something. I was like, okay. And I come back and it was not far off from where it sounds like now. I mean, obviously it wasn't mixed or anything, but he did a really amazing job because he's super talented like that.
Yeah, one thing I've noticed was the arrangement was just like, this is amazing.
Yeah. Hmm. So,
Yeah, we had
so yeah,
three other great people working on it with you, so I think you
yeah,
found the right help
yeah. No,
or
I
guidance, maybe
definitely did.
guidance, not help, guidance. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
Brett Alexander, the Badleys fame, and Paul Young. I mean, Paul, man, I love Paul with Panacea. Portland Frank's great too.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've
Hmm.
heard some Panacea tunes.
Yes, I have. Yeah, no,
Incredible, incredible.
he's great. He's great. They're all
So,
great. They're all
yeah,
super talented.
I,
So,
I texted Paulie last night. And I was like, dude, that song is incredible.
mhm.
He goes, which one?
It's like I do all of
Yeah,
them.
all
I
my
have my
songs are
hands in
incredible.
all of it.
All my
Yeah.
songs are incredible. I know, Paul. I know. I'm talking about Tatiana's. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
And
that's funny.
well, it was funny too. Ken Norton texted me out of the blue today. And I'll read it verbatim. He said, Tatiana's song is absolute fire.
Oh, yeah. I haven't heard from him in a while, and he ended up texting me yesterday too.
Yeah.
So that was really sweet.
Yeah, talk about the reception you've got. I said it's the first music in almost 5 years.
Hmm.
And it's definitely not something. I mean, it feels not thrown together, but it feels like it came together like pretty quickly. But
Yeah.
I mean, it's on par with the stuff that you've done previously.
Hmm.
Maybe a little better. Like, I mean, what has the world? Because I saw comments talking about it being relatable to Alanis Morissette,
Hmm.
which Ken also said. He also said Mazzy Star, and I've been like since I've heard it so all day yesterday and even today. I was like, this sounds like something that I know or that I can relate to or that I can kind of compare to. And then
Hmm.
I just said, John, stop. Like, stop trying to. And that's what I do all the time. I try and like find like,
Yeah.
oh, this sounds like this. And I said, John, stop.
Hmm.
Like, it's Tatiana. Like this. That's who it is. So talk about some of the stuff you've heard from people about the new song.
Yeah, so I definitely before like posting it, like of course like me, I'm just like no one's gonna give a shit. Like I didn't even like promote it really. I mean, I put out like a little thing 2 days before. Um, no one really knew about it. Family didn't know about it. And I think maybe everyone was like shocked more so than like people saying, "Oh, it sounds great." I think more so everyone was like, "Where did that come from?" Like
Yeah.
I thought you were done. Like, so but like the feedback like from friends and like family especially, um I'm just like overjoyed. Like I really can't ask for anything else. Like I haven't heard anything negative yet. So, but but yeah, no, it's funny. Like I did see that comment about like the Alon. I haven't responded yet to any of them, but the Alanis Morissette comment. There was two albums I would say that I had been listening to like nonstop for the past 4 months. Jagged Little Pill is one of them, and In Rainbows, Radiohead is the other. And I feel like those are like the two influences, I should say, when it came to this song. That's basically what I like. That's what I would tell Paul. That's what I would tell Marty. I'm like, I want it to be a mix between Jagged Little Pill and In Rainbows. And so
There we go.
there we go.
We got at least half of that documented from others.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I won't even tell you who I like. There's a part of that song, just a small piece that like I was like, oh, this sounds kind of like this, but it's more the guitar than it is anything
Mhm.
else. But yeah, I couldn't really like nail it down, so I just stopped trying. But I mean, where do you go from here? I mean, is this like a rebirth? It's like, I mean, it's your birthday, like, right? Like, is this the start of something new?
Yeah, I'd like to think that it is. I I mean, I definitely, I've like talked to Marty about like wanting to play out more. So I feel like we might do that. We are gonna do that. I'm not gonna say we might. We are gonna do that. And yeah, I want to continue to write. I don't know if that will look like an EP or an album, but I definitely do want to keep going. I have the content for it. I just need to like, you know, make the time to do it. So
Content meaning, songs written, half written.
yeah, I've never stopped writing. I just stopped like putting stuff out, I guess is what I should
Okay.
say. Yeah.
What does the writing look like? I mean, is that just, I mean, do you kind of just jot down different feelings and emotions and then kind of workshop that at a different date? How does that look for you?
Um, I know that after it became less serious, it was like kind of far and few in between. I would only write when I felt like the need to, whether that was like, oh, like if there's like something's going on or like I feel like, overwhelmed with emotion, so I'm just gonna write. Um, I know that when I was doing it like more seriously, like when Unspoken was written, I was kind of just like writing all of the time. Um, but I also feel like it's dependent on like where I'm at in my life. I always said that I find it's harder for me to write when I'm like happy.
Happy, right? Yeah.
Yeah. But like and it sounds like really terrible, but
No, I
it's
mean,
it's the truth. Like it's hard. It's hard for me to write when I'm happy. That's not my like I guess writing about like happy things was never like my forte. So it's when you lose like content to write about, it becomes harder.
yeah, I mean, like it's kind of if you wrote about being happy, it's almost like bragging, right? Like like
Yeah.
oh, my life's so great, like everything's, you know, it's like
Yeah.
what are you writing about? And I've never wrote a song. I wouldn't even know where to start. But like if I had to, I would definitely have to be in, I think, a darker place than,
Yeah.
being happy and like life's great and all that kind of shit. It wouldn't work for me.
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
I
I
and I
think,
think
go ahead.
oh no, I was just gonna say I think too, like especially when I was like younger in writing, because Unspoken, only 90% of those songs were written like when I was like 18, like or like 17 to 18, like around the time it was like put out. But the other 90%, like I was a child. I was like 12 or 13 years old.
Wow.
So so I think like being in that space all the time and like writing as a kid, like I don't know if that's like the most like healthy thing.
Yeah,
But
that's a good
I guess a healthy outlet, but like I don't
yeah.
know. So I think that was a strain, like that's what caused a strain too. It was like, well, if I could only be like if I could only write songs when I'm like miserable, like I don't know if I want to do it then,
Right.
um, but
Yeah, that association.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But I mean, I feel like as an adult, like you kind of like you learn to separate it. Like you don't have to like be in your dark room and like sulk like 24/7 to like write, a meaningful song. You could like separate yourself from it. So
It's kind of crazy that you were that young writing those songs.
yeah, I think that's why I personally like didn't like Unspoken. I hated that album. Like, and like when I say that to people, like they're like, "What do you mean?" Like I'm like, "Well, I didn't like it." Like because a lot of it I wrote when I was a kid, and then by the time it was actually like released, I think I was like 20. It was like, well, I don't write like that anymore, and I don't think that way anymore. And it
Right.
was
You're a
like,
different person for sure.
yeah, yeah, and it was kind of like almost embarrassing to be honest. But it was
Yeah,
like,
I get that. And I think like,
yeah,
and it's funny too, because, when someone finds their favorite artist, they want the next album from that artist to be the same as the first,
yeah,
and the third album
hmm
to be the same as the first and second. Like, and it's like, that's kind of weird. Like, we grow and we experience different things as we, get older. And obviously as an artist, you want to be creative and try new things. And so I really
hmm
hate when people like shit on artists for like changing or
for
writing about
changing it up.
different things. Or yeah, it's just like,
Yeah,
what do you mean, 50 years old talking about, your first girlfriend? Like, what are we doing?
yeah, like no, like you just don't do that. Yeah, like I don't like I could look back on like it because it's always Jamie. It's always like people are like
Yeah, who's
even you
Jamie?
like it's always Jamie. Like, well, who is Jamie? And honestly, like I don't think I'd ever write a song like Jamie again. Like I could like look back on it and like appreciate it because I was like 13 or 14 when I wrote it, but like I'm probably like that's probably never gonna come out of me ever again. Like, So I don't know.
So who is Jamie?
Oh my God. Well, he was like my
Okay,
ex-boyfriend. It was a whole thing. But
sure.
Jamie's not even real.
Okay,
Jamie was a substitute name
all right,
because, I didn't want to piss anybody off.
right, of
But
course.
yeah, yeah.
Not at
Yeah, high
14.
high school
Yeah,
shit.
yeah, of
I
course.
don't know.
But that's it's again, it's part of like, who you are today, and it's going through those emotions and those ups and the downs. And again, like we said when we started this whole thing out, it's just like, it's part of life. And that's what's cool about life is like,
hmm
learning and, going through those experiences and all that kind of shit that you never thought
Yeah.
you'd go through.
hmm
Or now it's not even a big deal. Like, it's like, why didn't I even care?
No, exactly. That's what I like when I listen. Well, I don't avidly listen to Unspoken, but if I even think about
Sure.
it, I'm like, yeah, no, it's like in my playlist now. It's in my rotation.
Right.
No, but I
Nice.
look back on it and I'm like, why did I write about that? Like, I don't know. But it is a part of me. I'm not gonna like, shun it. But
That's good though. I like that, you embrace that. And it's like, okay,
yeah,
yeah, it's a song about somebody in the past, but like, I mean, it's a song. It's whatever. It's a
yeah.
great song. It's a great song.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think I think my taste in like music changed too.
Sure. Sure.
So
Absolutely.
the influences changed. So,
And who's that? What's your influence now?
well, I already said like Alanis and Radiohead. I've been really into Radiohead like lately. I think that's where like all of like the like the noises came from in the song. Like that's like when we were talking about like putting the song together, I was like, I want noises in it. And Marty's like, what the fuck does that mean?
I
I'm
wanted to
like,
ask you about that. The recordings in the
yeah,
background. Like,
yeah.
it's very faint, so I couldn't like make out what it was. Is that
hmm
anything? Is it like a real recording or
The first ones are just, I mean, they're just like random recordings that are being played backwards on a loop just to
okay?
sound like creepy, honestly. Like the ones that are at the end is like a real recording from my brother's maybe 16th birthday. I wanted like the ending of a happy birthday and him blowing the candles out sound in it. So we put that in the end. Yeah. And then all the synth noises that Marty added in for me.
I just picture Marty
Yeah.
like in a room, like his hair is nuts.
Yeah, he's like on the keyboard. Like, that's probably not far off from what it looks like, to be honest.
That's funny.
Yeah. But I don't know, like uh as far as like other like influences, I can't say that I like listen to a lot of like newer I can't no, I listen to like newer music, but I feel like I'm like very much like stuck in like the alternative, like alt pop, alt rock genre. So like I think that that's where it comes from.
Hmm.
I don't know. Uh,
Yeah, it's a
mm,
great genre. I mean, Alt 92.1 was that. Um,
yeah,
which I love that station. R.I.P.
yeah. Oh my God. We
Yeah,
were just talking a couple weeks ago about like BuzzFest and how like that was like the highlight of our summer when we were in high school.
so good.
I know it was so fun.
It's. I don't want to get into it. I don't want to get into it. I'll start talking shit on people. I don't want to talk shit on.
This will turn into like
They
something
have
totally different.
yeah, they have bigger brains and more money than I do. So
Yeah, well,
bigger brains.
whatever.
Definitely more money, but not
Whatever.
bigger brains. I don't know.
Yeah.
I get angry. God, I get angry.
I think a lot of people do. I don't think you're the only one.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean outside of 97.9X, it was like the only station that kind of had those like the alternative uh
Hmm.
music, like the Walk the
Yeah.
Moons and things like that.
Yeah.
It's a damn shame.
Yeah. No, it is. It is because I feel like it's still a very like living popular genre,
Yeah,
but in our area it's not as represented on the radio anymore. So
not at all. They had a good thing. And it was
yeah.
and COVID probably didn't help either, but like it was
Mm.
on it was on the up, and I just think they're doing the towel, but like they didn't do anything with it that was better. Like they just like turned it into Q92, and it's like, what the hell is that? And it's just like a top 40.
Yeah.
Oh,
I had very little inch like an ounce of hope when I because it's supposed to be like 90s and now, right? So I was like, oh, okay, 90s, I could get into that. I don't think there's a lot of 90s happening on that station
yeah, I
because
don't think so anymore.
I don't I don't I
That
don't
was
see
the
it. I
initial
don't
was like
hear it.
yeah, Q92 was like I mean like 90s to now. I think.
Hmm.
I could be wrong. I forget. I left
No,
shortly after
I
they
think it
changed
is.
it, but they've since changed it to Q. I think it's just I forget, but they like whatever it was when they changed it from alt. They changed it since, like not much, but they just changed like a
Oh,
word on it, and then they kind of kept the music newer, I believe. I could be very wrong. There's so many things in my life that I love so dearly. The Weekender was one of them. You're probably too young for that.
no, I
Um,
remember it.
okay, The
Hmm.
Weekender and the radio stations. I had my own show on that too. And
Hmm.
like to me, those two products are like that girlfriend that cheated on you. So like you hate her, but you still love her because like you're
Yeah.
fucked up.
Hmm.
Yeah. So I have this love hate uh, for both those things because the Weekender is back in a online format only, and then obviously Alt and Fuzz are no more. But
Yeah.
I hate them both. I wish they would just go away,
Yeah.
but can't be so lucky.
Yeah. Yeah.
But writing for you, is that like an outlet for you to kind of release any kind of demons or just anything like you're thinking about that's weighing on you? Just is that like a therapeutic type
Oh
of
yeah.
thing?
Yeah. No, it is. And it always has been. I and I feel like maybe that's why I realized it so hard that I needed to do it again because I think I was like truly like coming to terms with the fact that like okay, like yes, like I do have these other hobbies and things that are making me happy, but it's not like it's not the kind of joy that I got from writing a song, or like sitting at my piano and actually like playing it because that's another thing too. It's like I went years without even touching it and it collected dust because
Yeah.
I didn't
Wow.
even want to like touch it. Um and so yeah, no, it definitely is like a really like therapeutic thing. Um even if like, even if like I have like notes upon notes in my phone of like songs that no one will ever hear, it's still like it's what gets me through, I think. Everyone has to have that in some way, I believe, like doing something because like
Yeah.
if
I
you don't like
I think I need to find something. I thought this was it, but I had an incident a week or two ago that I can't stop replaying in my mind. I'll share it with you if you like.
yeah, absolutely.
Um, so I was at the grocery store and I was at the checkout. It was with me and my son. So he's 5. At the
Mm,
checkout, I actually started my car on the walk to it with my key fob, and I was loading him up, and the groceries in the car, put him and buckled him up, and I was taking the cart back to the the front of the store like a good person. If you
mhm.
don't do that, you're a scumbag. But anyways,
I agree.
so as I put the cart back in the row, and a guy comes out of the store who I haven't seen in like 2 years.
Mm.
And he's a talker. I love the guy to death, but he's a talker. And I'm like,
Uh,
fuck. It was great to see him. Great to see him. It was great to see him. But I'm like, my kid's
uh,
in the car. Like, and I'm at this point from where the carts are, when my son is in the car, 30 feet away, 40 feet away, not very far.
mm,
So he starts talking to me. So I lock the car from my key fob because I was like, he's in the car. Car's on, it's hot, whatever. AC's on, no big deal.
mm,
So the guy's talking to me, and a car pulls up next to my car, and I see it. I see the car pull up, and the guy's talking. So I'm like, I got him. I'm looking at him, and I'm looking over there.
mhm.
And a woman gets out, and she looks in the car, like with a kind of a look of disgust. And I'm like, fuck, this lady probably thinks that I left my kid in the car, um,
Yeah.
and that and immediately, now I create this whole thing in my head. Immediately, I felt attacked as a father because like I think I'm a very good father, and it's weird to say that out loud, but like I make it a point to like be a good dad, right?
Mhm.
So I made this thing up in my head, like this woman knows that it's me, and like I'm like, oh, this woman thinks that I'm a scumbag or whatever. And the person that was driving walked around the front, and the girl's like, she's like, can you believe someone would leave a little kid in the car like that? Blah blah blah. And she's walking, and I just kind of like, not, I didn't yell, but I aggressively said to her, I'm like, the car is running. Don't worry about it. The car is running. And she's like, well, someone could get in the car and take off. And I'm like, I'm right here. I got it under
Yeah.
control. I'm right here. And she's, oh, well, I didn't know. And she walked in the store. And I stood there and I'm like, what the hell was that? Like, what? I said, where did that come from? I was just like, who am I? Where did that come from? I
Mm,
mean, obviously, I mean, granted, she could have looked around and probably assumed that I was the owner or the other guy was the owner or whatever. But
mhm.
so I said to the guy, listen, I gotta get going. I got to go in and apologize to that lady. So I got my son out of the car and we went and found her. And I said, listen, I'm really sorry for what just happened. She's like, no, I'm sorry too. I said, no. I said, what you did was there's nothing wrong with what you did. You were just concerned for a child's well-being.
Mhm.
And how dare I kind of speak to you like that? Like you didn't know who I was, but like I'm like, what? I said, what the fuck? What am I doing?
Yeah.
Like, it's just it's like to this day, I don't really know, you know, where that came from. And then, we were with my family on vacation, and my brother and we're brothers, right? Like, so we started
Mhm.
mouthing off back and forth, and kind of got face to face, and I shoved him, and I'm like, oh, what the fuck am I doing? And I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know if I need to talk to somebody or what, but like, is the world just like finally like just like beating me down or whatever it is, or maybe I just need to start like working out and just some kind of release. I don't know, but yeah,
No,
sorry to
I don't.
go.
No, that's no. But I don't think like I think that that's just being human, to be honest.
Yeah,
Like I really do. I when I was actively taking a lot of like clients like in that field of like you're you're kind of like a therapist without being a therapist. But like I'd have like so many people like tell me like things that they have held on to forever, like the like guilt, and some of them were like serious, and some of them like are so like minuscule that you'd like look at them and you're like why do you feel like guilty about that? Like you had every right to But like, I just think that that's just like such a human thing. Like, we're not always going to be like happy or like,
Yeah.
or like well mannered all the time,
That's just,
like,
yeah, but that's just not me. It's like so out of character. Like
yeah,
I don't like I just like felt like I lost it twice in the past
yeah,
like 3 weeks. And
yeah.
like I've got no, from as far as I know, I've got nothing to be upset about.
Yeah.
It's
But
weird.
like sometimes you don't even need something to be upset about, Like I feel like I don't feel like it's like this anymore, but I feel like when I was a kid, like even back then, like the whole like mental health thing was like kind of taboo, like when I was in middle school and
Sure.
high school still. So like if you said that you felt like anger or you felt like sadness for no reason, like people would be like, well, you don't have a reason to be angry. Like you don't have a reason to be sad. Like why are you
Yeah.
sad? Like, but like even though there's no like reason, like there doesn't need to be. Like you're a human being with like
Yeah.
complex emotions.
And if I had to really think about it, and I think social media has a lot to do with it too.
Oh yeah.
I think I get angry. I get now that we're talking about it, I feel like I get mad at shit that doesn't matter. Like
Hmm.
it's not hurting me. I mean, someone could be, bragging about something or lying, like blatantly lying that I know they're lying
Yeah.
about. And for some reason, I get angry about that. Like in my head, I'm like, you're a fucking liar. Like,
Yeah.
and now that we're talking about it out loud, I think, and I have considered taking a break from social media because I think I mean, it's a blessing and a curse, just like the internet is. I mean,
Hmm.
I don't know, it's just a lot. And I think it gets crazier and crazier every day.
No, it does. It definitely does. I even like after the fire, I think I was like off social media for like a month and a half, and then I knew that this was going to happen. So I was like, okay, like that's where like the slippery slope like
Right.
comes in
Yeah.
because like you want to, like you're in like this field, like where social media kind of like matters.
Yeah.
My daytime job is all social media. Like that's what I do and I hate it. Like I don't hate my job. I
Sure.
hate social media. I hate what it's become, and I
Yeah.
feel like a lot of people feel that way because it's like it's not even about like what are like it is about like what are my friends doing that's like cool, like their business and their art and their whatever. It's like all of humanity, like just right there, like all of the bad is also mixed in with that good, and it's
Yeah.
like it gives everybody a platform, probably people that shouldn't have one,
Right.
but it's their right to, so it's just there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, thanks for listening to me.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think I've only told that story to like 3 people. I
No,
got
but
home.
it makes you human. Like I've done like awful things. Everyone's done like awful like things and have snapped out in their
Yeah.
life, and then like you look back and you're like, holy shit, I don't even know who that person was.
It, and that's exact. It happened, and as it happened, I'm like, what? Like, who are you right now?
Yeah. Hmm.
And I'm like, yeah, my son, like, he's still young, but and I'm like, you know what? I'm taking him with me. I got to do this not just for me, but like, hopefully, maybe it's a learning moment for him too. Like,
Yeah.
that it's okay to say sorry when you've done something wrong, like or own up
Hmm.
to something when you know you fucked up. Because I
Yeah.
and the fact that she felt sorry too, I'm like, I said, we need more people like you, if anything.
Yeah.
And you were just talking to yourself and to your friend. I mean, and you were concerned for my child's well-being, like, and
Hmm.
like, how dare I get
Yeah.
mad at that? But
But that's just like awesome though, because like she could have easily have just like been like, well, fuck you, like you yelled at me like in
she could
public,
have.
but like you know, I think social media also created uh it made it a lot harder for people to admit when they're like wrong, because like and I think it's because like I don't know if it's because social media gave everyone a platform to voice their opinion and to also like kind of congregate with people who have like that similar opinion, and I don't know. I just feel like it's really hard for people anymore to like admit their faults, just like admit that we have faults just
Yeah.
in general.
I mean, you'll see people argue on Facebook for days.
Yeah.
And like, it's
Yeah.
such a waste of time because you're clearly not going to change that person's mind.
No.
Just
Mm-mm.
call it a day. Like,
Yeah, like agree to disagree, end
yeah,
it. Like,
go
but
back to your
people
echo
can't.
chamber too and go with your like-minded people. Like,
Yeah.
you can't see another side. Just go do what you're going to do.
Yeah. Hmm.
But and that's what's dangerous too about like the way social media works and the algorithms. You're just fed stuff
Oh
that
yeah.
you like and that like has similar interests. Like it's
Hmm.
so much shit. Like and if you're a scumbag, like that's all you just keep getting it.
Yeah. Hmm. It's scary. That's I haven't been on TikTok, I think, in like 6 months. I deleted it because the algorithm was like scaring the absolute shit out of me. I was like, this is getting way too specific. Like,
Yeah.
are you listening to conversations? Probably.
Yes.
Um, like I'm like, I don't know. Can't do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's crazy.
I don't know. I don't know. We could talk about it all night.
No, I definitely can. I'm very passionate about it, to
Well,
be
I mean,
honest.
you're of an age where you had social media in high school. Like, what was that
Hmm.
like for you? Because like I am of an age where I got the internet in my home when I was like 16. And
Hmm.
like for me, it was the internet at its infancy. Like you had AOL chat rooms and like, you'd sit there, wait for the girl you liked to come on, the world would open,
Yeah.
like, oh sweet, she's here. Like, it's like that was the level of internet for me. And then even in
Yeah.
college, I just used it for um, emails and shit like that. Like
Hmm.
I didn't grow up with it. And you
Yeah.
did.
Hmm.
What
Yeah.
was that like?
Yeah, basically. I ooh, I think it was probably, I mean, it was rough. I feel like anybody like my age would probably say it was like rough because I think now, like I have a brother that's 8 years younger than me. So he just graduated high school. Like, yeah, like they grew up on social media, but their his generation, I feel like, is a lot nicer than
Really?
mine
That's
was.
good. That's
Yeah.
good.
Like I don't think that like they bully like people online anymore like that.
That's
But when
awesome. That's
I
great
was
news.
no, it is. Like it definitely gives like some sort of hope in humanity. I'm sure that there's like, certain cases of that, but I don't think it's as popular as it was.
That's
Like when I
awesome.
was in high school, there was literally apps and like platforms where you could like talk shit about people anonymously. I forget what they're called. I think like one was like was it like Ask FM or something? I don't know. Like they would roll one out like every month and it would be like you could pick what school you go to and just write like anonymous shit and it was like it was awful. It was so bad. Um because I also feel like too like I think when I was in high school was around the time where it was like okay, because like MySpace was a thing when I was in middle school. I wasn't allowed to have one, but like my high school years is like when Snapchat rolled out. It's when Vine rolled out. Like Instagram became really popular. Like it was kind of like the start, I think, of the new generation and like
Yeah,
how things worked. And it was really shitty. It was so shitty.
I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
Hmm. Oh yeah.
I think I'm in a good place as far as like half my life. Well, more than half my life is well, I guess with internet now. We'll just call it half and half. Half without, half with.
Hmm.
Um, but I got it when I was at an age like I can comprehend like what's real and what's not. Like even with reality TV, like that's what I'm
Hmm.
worried about too with kids. It's like they think they see this stuff and it's like, oh, that's real.
Yeah,
It's like, no, it's not.
it's not.
It's
No.
all scripted. As much as it say reality TV, it's not.
Yeah.
But
And
it's
that's kind of like the same for Instagram too. I mean, like like as adults, like you kind of know that like what people post online isn't like a reflection of like their real life, but like kids don't know that.
they don't
Like
know.
there's like 4-year-olds like glued to iPads like 24/7 watching like God knows who on YouTube. Like
Yep.
it's not it's a different world for sure.
Yeah. I mean, my kid watches like YouTube for kids, and like he'll
Yeah.
watch like kids like Vlad and Nikki and
Yeah. That's different,
Yeah,
but
I know,
like,
but like it's so weird. It's weird. Like I was
yeah,
watching cartoons and Roadrunner,
yeah,
and like he's watching like other kids play. It's like it's
yeah.
so
No,
weird.
I feel like that's like innocent though, because I feel
It
like
is,
that's
but
like
like
it is weird though, because like it was the same when I was a kid. Like you had to watch that stuff on TV, like
yeah,
at a certain time, like
yeah.
during a certain time of day. But like, I mean, I don't know. I think it's when stuff goes like unmonitored is when it
Hmm.
gets a little crazy.
Well, it's funny. My a friend of mine, he doesn't have kids, and he was I don't know if a friend of his has kids, and they were talking about like there's apps that you can like literally know where your kid is at all times, and
Hmm.
the GPS and all that kind of stuff. And he's like, you know what? If I have kids, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to trust them. And I'm like, well, the thing is, it's like I have cameras on my house. Like,
Hmm.
do I turn them off if I go away when he's old enough to stay home alone? And he's like, oh,
Yeah.
I didn't think about that. And I said it's a different world too. I said, I mean, there are grown adults with fully formed brains that get
Hmm.
duped online.
Yeah.
Can we trust that our children who are so impressionable that they're not going to get caught up in something that they don't even know about? You have
Hmm.
to a degree, you have to kind of monitor that stuff, I think.
Yeah, no, I think so too. I mean, so like I said before, like Tommy, my brother, there's a big age difference. So he was always just kind of like my child growing up. So even now, like he's 18, and I always get the like, well, you don't trust me. And it's like, no, I trust you. I don't trust other people.
Right.
Like that's the thing. Like I don't trust other people. People are nuts. Like, yeah, you should tell me like where you're going, like just so I like know, just in case. Um, Especially when they start driving. God, that's a
Yeah.
whole other situation.
Can we talk for a second about the fact that your brother is 18 years old, which means that he was 5 years old when I met your family?
Yeah. Hmm.
I saw a picture of him the other day. I don't even know where it was, but I'm like, holy shit! Like that is a grown adult now.
Oh yeah. Grown
It's
ass man.
that's so weird to me. Like that kind of shit just kind of like freaks me out.
Yeah, no, it freaks me out too, to be honest, because I always look at him like he's like still a child, but
Yeah,
he's not, and that's
it's
scary.
crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But we talk about how bad the internet is. It's also really good, and like we talked about
Mhm.
promotional stuff, like you with your
Mhm.
music, me with the podcast. But like, are you going to use like I mean, how focused and how serious are you with this new song, and then the future of your recording? Like, I mean, you can obviously utilize social media and the algorithms and targeted ads and things like that. Like, and it's such a
Mhm.
pain in the ass too. I hate that we have to do this, but like, because
Yeah.
I feel like we're bragging about ourselves, right? Like, here, look at me, look at me, look at me.
Yeah.
But it's also a helpful tool. Like, um, and you said your job full time, you do social media. So I
Mhm.
mean, like, are you going to utilize that to help promote your music?
I would say yes. I just don't know to what extent yet. Like I've since releasing the song, and it was only out for like a day now, I've had like so many people ask, like my brother included. He's like, well, you gotta get back on TikTok. Like that's the place to go.
Yeah.
Like your music has to, and like I agree. But at the same time, it's like, oh my God, like do I really want to get like sucked back into that shit? Like I don't know. I don't know. I guess that would be something I like really have to think about. Um, because I never really go, and I didn't do this with Unspoken either. Like I never like went into things and like releasing music with like the ideology of like it's gonna go viral, like it's gonna blow up. I would be happy if like three people like texted me and were like, it sounds great. Like I could really relate to this. Um, because I feel like my like number one goal, and like this is like genuine, like I'm not even just saying this to be like an asshole, but like my number one goal is like I just want there to be at least like one person that listens to like something that I put out that they could like relate to and like make them feel some sort of way about it. Um that's really it. Like I don't, that's like to be honest, I don't know that I'm going to be like super obsessed with like getting it to as many people as possible. Like I don't know. Because I feel like even going into this, like I said like to Marty and like to Paul and to Brett, like I'm like doing this for me
Yeah.
and hopefully other people along the way, like this could help someone get through something and like I'll be happy. So
But maybe that's also a strategy. Just
yeah,
not care, right? Just like wherever it goes, it
maybe.
goes.
Yeah.
You
I feel
know?
like that's worked for like a lot, like some people. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know. I just hope that we hear more music from you.
Yeah, I hope so too. I think you will though.
I mean,
I think,
you've already, I think, you said you wanted to, a few people to text you. I think that's already happened, right? You've already that's already checked off the list. So
yeah,
we need more. We need more.
yeah,
So
yeah,
start writing. Get sad. Let's go.
yeah. Let's get sad. Yeah, no, for sure. No, for sure. I definitely do think that this is this is it for me. Like I'm gonna actually like do this again for real because life's too short.
Yeah.
I had like firsthand experience with that. So, I don't want to whenever my time to like leave the planet is, I don't want to have any regrets.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it won't be the last.
Sweet. Well,
Mhm.
are we thinking any music videos to accompany these songs, or
I don't know. That would be really fun. I
right?
would like love to do that.
Content. We need
I
content.
I know we need content. I really wanted to do one like for this one. I think that was my original idea, but like the time frame, it
Right.
just didn't work out. But yeah, yeah, I
Sweet.
do think that there will be some in the future.
I hope so.
Mhm.
Well, you got a great team. Obviously, Marty is by your side no matter what. I mean, if
Yeah,
you utilize Paul and Brett down the road, obviously great resources to have at your disposal. And yeah, I'm pumped for this song. It's amazing.
thank
Thank you
you.
for sharing it. Thank you for hitting me up and letting me know about it, and saying let's do this, because
Yeah.
this has been a lot of fun.
Mhm.
Where can people find you online?
So is this like in like all social medias?
Sure, sure.
Yeah, well, my Facebook page is it's Tatiana. I'm pretty sure it's like at Tatiana Music. Oh God, I hope that that's right. And my Instagram is Tatiana Tell 333. So those are my socials. That's all I have
You're
right
off
now.
TikTok. No
I'm off
TikTok.
TikTok. I'm off
Okay.
TikTok for
All right.
now. I don't know.
But all your music is also on, Spotify and
Oh
places
yeah,
like that. So
it's on all of them, all of the streaming services.
very cool. Well, the new song once again is No Coincidence. Happy birthday, and happy belated birthday to you once again.
Thank you.
It was funny yesterday when I was messaging you, saying the song was great and I was looking forward to tonight. I'm like, I
Mm.
think that is her birthday, and I didn't wish her happy birthday. I'm an asshole. I said, oh, I'm gonna see her, quote
Oh,
unquote.
I don't even care.
I
I
know, but
don't
I'm like,
care
I'm gonna
about
see
that.
her, and then I'm like, and I couldn't
Yeah.
go back like after the fact and be like, oh, by the way,
By the way, happy birthday.
figured I would just wait till today. So,
No, I appreciate it.
but yeah, hopefully, I mean, you got to play out too. I mean, we gotta the duo or whatever, whatever you're gonna do. Uh,
Yeah.
I'll make sure that I'm stalking Marty's page, and he seems a little more active than you. So
Yeah, he is. No, I I have to get on that. Yeah, he is. He's very active. I'm not. I don't know if I don't like I would love to do like a full band thing again at some point. I just don't know when. I'll work up to it. I'll tell you that.
when's the last time you played out live?
Oh God, it was before the pandemic and it was at Stage West. I
Yeah,
don't remember when, and I think it was, I think we, I think I opened up for Marty, I think,
for who?
for Marty, I think,
Oh,
for the
Marty.
Boastfuls, for
Okay,
the Boastfuls. I think. I don't even remember. It was so long ago.
are they still a thing?
Oh yeah. Hmm.
Okay, sweet. All right,
Yeah,
good.
absolutely.
I love that band too. So,
Yeah.
well, Tatiana, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time. Again, the song is great.
Thank you.
I'm glad everyone made it out of the fire
Yeah.
okay. And
Thank you.
best of luck piecing that all together as time moves
Mhm.
on. But looking forward to seeing what you do next, and hopefully we'll see you out at a live show soon.
Yeah. That's it too. Thank you
Awesome.
so much for
Well,
having
no, thank you.
me.
We'll see you.
All right.